Why don't you start this one out and say, hey, we want to talk about the tunes a little bit, and then I can jump in for.
Okay. Hi, I'm Doug Young, and I'm here with Teja Gerken, and we're going to talk through some of the tunes that are on our new album, The Water's Wide.
Yeah, so the album opens with the Lock Tender's Wheel, which our good friend Eric Sky wrote, and I started working on a solo guitar arrangement in Orkney guitar tuning with a capo to keep me in the same key that Eric plays it in. Doug came out with a lovely second part, and it's become one of our favorite tunes to play.
And this, of course, was the first tune we recorded after we did duets.
Right. We were still heavily in COVID isolation. Each recorded our own part, and actually at the time recorded a very fun video of the tune as well that you can check out.
And this is also a typical example that we're in different tunings. I'm in Dadgad, you're in Orkney.
Absolutely, yeah. So a fun aspect to that. That piece is followed by our arrangement of Shebeg Shemor, which is of course a Turlo or Caroline tune that a lot of guitar players have played. And again, I had sort of an arrangement of it that Doug came up with a second part. For that one, I'm actually no capo, and I'm in C, G, C, G, C, D tuning. So we played in C rather than in D, which is more common.
And I was in Dadgad for that tune, but I capoed on the 5th fret.
So a big variation right there. So that's a fun. And there's also a little improvised section in there that is somewhat unusual for an Irish tune like that. The next tune we did is Josephine's Waltz, which was written by Roger Tallroth, formerly of Vassen. And that's a really fun tune that I'd heard for a long time. It's become sort of a modern classic among a lot of people who play fiddle tunes and folk music in general. I was shooting a video with Joe K. Walsh for Peghead Nation, where he was teaching it in his octave mandolin class. And as I was listening to it, I was sort of arranging it in Dadgad tuning in my head. I ended up playing it capoed on the 5th fret to get it into the key of G. And Doug plays it also in Dadgad, but with no capo.
Okay.
So again, both in Dadgad, different capo positions. And I think this tune came out really nicely. That is followed by a tune of mine called Tacoma, and that is something that I recorded on my last solo album, Test of Time, and I played on 12-string guitar there. And I don't know exactly how we came up with the duo arrangement, but maybe I was playing it one day and you came up with the second part.
And you did it on a 6-string.
And I'm doing it on, it's still 12 strings, but spread out over 2 guitars, exactly. And that's a tune kind of in a Leo Kottke kind of vibe.
Next up was Little Martha, a classic tune by Duane Allman. I played the song for years in one form or another, and at some point we thought we'd give it a try. Teja added a part using the baritone guitar.
Yeah, I played baritone on it, and I think we were both somewhat influenced by Leo Kottke's great version of this tune as well. So, very fun way. The tune is a duet on the original Allman Brothers version, but ours is similar and yet quite different. So it was a lot of fun to kind of explore that piece of it. The next tune that we tackled is Bermuda Triangle Exit, which is a really fun tune by Stefan Grossman. It's a tune that I learned probably close to 30 years ago. I've played it in other duo settings, and I finally said, hey Doug, why don't you come up with a second part for that?
And really the idea on that, now I played an archtop guitar on that, I played electric, and the idea was to sort of capture that Stefan and John vibe from the Renborn albums.
So this is definitely, of all the tunes we do, this is probably the closest to that Stefan Grossman, John Renborn kind of a sound that really was very influential for both of us. And it's a rare tune where we're both in standard tuning.
Yes.
Following that is our take on Eric Satie's famous Gymnopédie No. 1. And that's of course a famous piano piece, probably Satie's most famous piece. I learned it years and years ago on classical guitar. When I got my baritone guitar, I sort of transferred it over there and started playing it and really liked the way it worked. And I used to play it solo with a looper pedal in the middle for a little improvised section. When Doug and I started working more as a duo, we gave it a try, and you came up with a really nice second part.
Yeah, this one was quite challenging because the harmony is already a little unusual in this. So coming up with a second part where I could add harmony lines without just being totally dissonant was pretty interesting.
Right, and of course between the baritone guitar and the standard guitar, we kind of get that piano-like range on the piece, and again, I think it came out really nice.
Another example where we were almost both in standard tuning.
Yes, except I'm on the baritone guitar. So that is followed with the album's title tune, The Water is Wide.
And that's a tune that I arranged some years ago, actually for a workshop originally as an exercise in arranging, and had played for quite a bit as a solo piece, and then you came up with a second part.
Yeah, and of course in the acoustic guitar world, Ed Gerhardt's arrangement is sort of a blueprint that everyone kind of has to follow now, because he did such a beautiful job with that. And I think we both try to be inspired by it and also break out of some of sort of the template that Ed left us. I'm playing it in C, G, C, G, C, D tuning with a capo on the 2nd fret. And your arrangement is basically a functional solo guitar arrangement, and I sort of found some ways around it with some bass lines and some more treble-oriented single note lines that kind of worked in with that.
So another tune from the classic repertoire is Embryonic Journey, which was first released by Jefferson Airplane. I believe that was on their Surrealistic Pillow album. And it's been around a long time. I've played it for a long time, and at some point we thought, let's see what we can do with this.
And I ended up working up a slide guitar part using my national guitar, and it's again a piece that is really based on the actual Jorma arrangement. You don't differ so much from the thing, and I kind of found my way into the tune, and the slide guitar really kind of ended up working very well. And if you haven't seen it, we have a very fun video of that one shot at a little church in Tiburon, California, that really kind of captures the vibe of that tune. The next piece on the album is something that brings us back to our love for John Renbourn. It's a Renaissance piece called A Toy for Two Lutes, written by Thomas Robinson. And this is something that John recorded on The Hermit, and it's a very interesting guitar duet or lute duet that has these interlocking, repeating parts. I was first reminded of the tune by my friend Flint Cohen, and ultimately gave the music to Doug. And this is something that is we play as written. I'm playing it on nylon string guitar, you playing it on steel string guitar.
And this is really interesting because it's two parts that fit together, and then we switch parts.
Yeah, it's a fascinating form, and we had a lot of fun working this one up.
So the next one up is If You Could Read My Mind. This was a fun one because we came up with the idea to do this tune because Gordon Lightfoot passed away shortly before we were playing a house concert. And we thought it'd be nice to do a tune of Gordon's.
We had like a week to work this
Yeah, we had
up,
about a week. We knew that the host of our house concert was a Gordon Lightfoot fan. I tried a whole bunch of different tunings on this song. I believe Gordon Lightfoot plays it in G in standard tuning, and of course he's got kind of a baritone voice that laid really low on the guitar. It didn't quite work. I tried a bunch of different tunings and finally landed on a very unusual tuning that made it work.
And I'm playing the baritone guitar in this, and I'm using it really almost more like a bass in this, and it was fun to kind of explore that role of it. And I wasn't that familiar with Gordon's music before this, and it was just a really fun way to sort of get into that repertoire as well. The album closes with our arrangement of Green Sleeves, which is a tune that you had worked up in one of your Christmas books.
Yeah, and I believe we recorded this for Christmas time and called it What Child Is This, of course.
I believe we did. And
a song with two names.
Yes, so we included it as Green Sleeves on the all-season album. You had the standard guitar part worked out, and I ended up adding another part on the slide guitar on my national guitar. It was really fun to explore that melody. We both do a little improvisation in it, and I think it really captures the idea of using different guitars and different voicings in a familiar tune. So those are the tunes that are all featured on The Water is Wide. We really hope you enjoy the album. Go check it out on your favorite digital platform. And once again, if you can share it, add it to playlist, share it on social media, we really appreciate it. I'm Teja Gerken.
I'm Doug Young.
We hope to see you out there.